A group of fearless young people ventured into the wilderness, determined to challenge an old, dilapidated suspension bridge. What they didn't know was that the steel cables at the bridgehead had already loosened. Lucy quickly warned Amy to run, but the support cables grew weaker by the second. In the next instant, the entire bridge deck suddenly gave way, and Amy's footing vanished beneath her. As the main cable snapped, the bridge collapsed into the ravine, leaving Amy dangling midair, barely supported by a single safety rope. That lone rope, however, also began to slip from its carabiner. Jack urgently unfastened his own rope and threw one into Amy. With everyone pulling together, they managed to haul her back just as the last cable gave way. Since the bridge was destroyed, returning the same way was no longer possible. Jack unfolded a map and decided the only option was to climb the steep mountain ahead, but the ladders and safety hooks bolted into the rock wall had long since decayed. The group inched forward cautiously, only to find that the steel cable further ahead was already severed, making further progress impossible. After a quick discussion, Jack decided to climb to the summit with Amy first, then lower ropes to bring the others up. Yet not long after Jack left, Tom began to panic. He had secretly been suffering from acrophobia, and had only come along to accompany Lucy. His terror drove him into frantic movements, and in a split second he pulled his safety clip loose. Pete tried to save him, but when Tom's carabiner broke, Pete was dragged down with him. Both of them ended up dangling precariously over the abyss. Tom screamed in horror as Jack and Amy reached the mountaintop, but just as Jack was about to secure the rope, he accidentally stepped into a bear trap. The excruciating pain dropped him to the ground. Handing the rope to Amy, he urged her to save the others. She managed to throw the rope just in time, rescuing Tom and Pete from falling to their deaths. When the group rushed back to free Jack from the trap, they found only bloodstains on the ground. Jack was gone, seemingly dragged away during the chaos. They searched desperately in the pouring rain, but there was no trace of him. To prevent anyone from getting lost, the 4 survivors tied themselves together with rope. Before long, Amy, at the back of the line, was struck by an arrow. As she tried to pull on the rope for help, she realized it had been cut. Before the others could react, she was dragged into the forest by a powerful force. Only then did they realize someone else was hiding in these woods. They stumbled upon a cabin and went inside, only to find Jack lying naked on a bed. Horrified, Lucy threw herself into Pete's arms, sparking Tom's jealousy. As they prepared to leave, Pete insisted on retrieving Jack's backpack, which contained their supplies and the map. Armed with a weapon, Pete entered the basement where he found an array of hunting tools and animal hides. He located the backpack but unexpectedly ran into Tom. Consumed by jealousy and fear, Tom snapped. He kicked Pete into the basement, locked the door, and tried to escape with Lucy. At the doorway, they ran straight into the cannibal creature returning with Amy's lifeless body. A brutal fight broke out. Tom was no match for the monster, but Lucy managed to knock it down, saving him. Yet Tom, instead of protecting her, abandoned Lucy and fled. When Lucy regained consciousness, she and Pete were both tied up. From above, the sounds of butchery filled the cabin. Terrified, Lucy screamed. Soon she was dragged outside, but just before she was killed, Pete broke free and lured the monster away. Once it left to pursue him, Pete doubled back and freed Lucy. The two escaped into the stormy night, only to encounter Tom clinging to a cliff edge, begging for help. Pete reached out and grabbed his hand, but remembering Tom's betrayal, his expression hardened, and he let go. Tom plunged to his death. Pete held the sobbing Lucy, about to comfort her, when blood suddenly gushed from his mouth. The monster had returned. Enraged, Lucy lunged with a knife. Before the creature could ready its bow, she struck, wounding it, but the battle turned against her, and she collapsed, barely clinging to life. Just as the monster prepared to finish her, Lucy slashed its throat. She eventually found the cable car leading down the mountain. Gasping for air, she reflected on everything that had happened, as if it had all been a nightmare. But then, the monster rose again, picked up the fallen knife, and walked toward the cable line. With a sharp snap of steel cables breaking, the screen went black. The movie ended.